Pew 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 pew. Bend elbow and look at all those hits. Dry fire training because ammo is expensive with the Mantis Laser Academy laser cartridge in here. And look how well this Taurus G3C points. I have a video all about that proprioception point shooting. But that isn't what today is about. Today is about the great debate between the pistol and the revolver. And we're going to talk not only compact size, more commonly carried, but full size as well. Now all these pistols are not mine. You see the Taurus, those are T&E loaners. So when you tyrant gun grabbers like the Nazis come and breaking your oath, then those aren't mine. Taurus goes back. This is my roommate's. I discussed it in my going to be highly controversial video, Why Glocks Suck, at least for the price video. I had my roommates Gen 4, G19 and that. This is a Gen 5. Everything's been safety checked other than laser cartridge. They are empty. But the great debate between a pistol and a revolver, I'm going to give you the high points. To get further in depth, you're going to want to also check out my videos, Why Carry or Train with a Revolver. And my very popular video is a 7-shot, 3-inch, 357 Magnum of viable CCW choice. So you got full-size pistols, revolvers, and we have compact that are more commonly carried. And that does kind of matter. Now, it also depends, of course, on your training level. Are you a beginner? Are you intermediate? Or are you an expert? This, I have unboxings, guys, on everything except the Glock because it's not mine, and the Taurus or T&E loaners. This is a 942 8-shot 22 long rifle, but this is standing in because it's the same frame. Look at my unboxing of this. It's standing in for the excellent 6-shot 38 Special Taurus 856 or the excellent 5-shot 357 Magnum Taurus 605. It's the same exact frame, grip, everything other than the cylinder and the barrel hole. So it stands in for that because those are pistols that people carry. This Taurus 692, my most popular unboxing, 230,000 views. Please look at my full range review. 357, 38, and 9mm. You swap out the cylinder. Makes this a great carry gun, trainer, plinker, fun, all of that. My roommate's Glock 17. So if you're talking full size, you know, things are a little bit different. So let's talk about the merits of a revolver versus a pistol. Number one merit is, yeah, for a total beginner, new grandma, whatever, this is safer than this. Does that mean with training this is unsafe? No, not necessarily. But there's two main reasons. Number one, and again, empty. I've already checked everything. Okay. Especially on a striker-fired gun, it's the same trigger pull each time, which is a benefit, but there's little take-up, and it's very light. And yes, this is a completely unfired Glock compared to the one in my Glock Sucks video. This Gen 5 does have a better trigger than the 500 rounds through the Gen 4 Glock 19. By the way, the break is nicer. It's not great, but it's definitely crisper and a nicer break. And it definitely feels better without the finger grooves. So Glock fanboys, I'm giving that up. Okay, but anyway, this, you get Glock leg. That's a term for a reason. Cops all shot themselves reholstering in their leg. You see people ND when they're reholstering. You even saw on ass, which looked like an ND shooting a bad guy that maybe wasn't so bad he deserved to get shot at the time on active self-protection the other day. It is lighter, about 5.5 to 6.5 pounds on a striker-fired pistol. It is lighter and shorter, and because of that, you're moving around, and you're stressed out in high-stress situation, you might get a bang, but definitely there is a problem with the beginners not trained reholstering. Compared to the long double-action trigger pull on a revolver, long and heavier. Okay, long and heavier double-action trigger pull. So because it's long trigger pull, and heavier, of course this is much safer. It just is, whether you want to debate that or not. If I'm reholstering, it takes a heck of a lot of pressure to pull that trigger versus, and it has happened even in pretty decent holsters, or if you have a crappy holster, but a shirt getting inside the trigger guard or a drawstring, it has to be pretty taut. But it does happen, especially if you do trigger work. Okay? So, boom, bang. There you just saw it on camera. So that's one reason. The other reason is beginners go, man, I took the magazine out, it's safe. They forgot the one in the chamber. Okay, besides like 3rd gen Smiths that had a magazine disconnect, most pistols don't, some do. Very few nowadays are made with a magazine disconnect. You take the magazine out, and then this has happened, and there's some on video. Man, it's unloaded, bang! Because the first safeties are brain and following the safety rules and finger straight outside the trigger guard and all of that. I'm having to do stuff on camera to help teach you and make you safer, and I've safety checked everything as well. So that's 2 main reasons why a revolver is safer. Oh, 3rd reason, really, is because just from watching movies, you flip the cylinder out, you go, oh, no bullets? Bullets. Ooh, okay, that's easy to understand. Okay? Whereas, you know, we kind of relates to 2, the magazine's out, and well, there's still one in the chamber, and you don't know all that. Okay? Not my pistol. So, for those reasons, a revolver is better for someone that's not going into the range often and hasn't gotten training. Okay? Now, is it easier to make hits with the lighter trigger pull? Not the best one on this Glock, but decent? Yeah, it's a lot harder to not destabilize the pistol in the long double action pull. And for self-defense, you don't want to be getting cocky. Okay? You don't want to be doing that unless it's a very long-range shot. Okay? So, while that's lighter and crisper, this is longer, so it's not as easy to shoot revolvers accurately, which if you look at my why to train with a revolver, training with revolvers makes you shoot your pistols better even if you decide to carry a pistol. Okay, let's look at, so a revolver, harder to shoot, makes you a better shooter. That goes both ways. It kind of balances out. Honestly, revolvers do have a bit more recoil because your hand access, you got to get high on that back strap, and it is higher and the relationship's different to your wrist, so there is more felt recoil with a revolver. Let's talk about caliber and capacity. Caliber-wise, I mean, a 357 is, 1,400, 1,450 feet per second versus 1,000 to 1,200. Okay, if we're talking 125 grain, 124 grain, this is a long 4.5 inch barrel. This is 3-inch barrel, but you also got some travel in the cylinder. So barrel travel, if you look at my friend Gun Sam's, the barrel travel tends to be, about the same-ish. This is maybe more towards a 4-inch pistol than the 4.5 inch here. But still, you're looking at 1,100 feet per second, maybe 1,200 with a 124 plus P. 357 Magnum, you're looking at 1,300 to 1,450 with old school loads. Possibly this is ported, so a little bit less. But more powerful. 357 versus 9mm. And this also, again, shoot 9mm if I put that cylinder in. I think that's what's in now. And about the same then because of barrel trouble. But revolvers can be in much bigger calibers, 44 Magnum, 454 Casull, 500 Magnum, etc. So while you don't really need bigger than this for two-legged predator defense, if you're in Alaska or worried about things, the revolver can be in those bigger calibers if you're worried about. I would want a 44 Magnum if I'm worried about bear defense, or a 10mm at least, which could be in a pistol or a revolver 10mm. But you pretty much want bigger. And if you're big game hunting, 500 or 460 or something like that. So revolvers do have that advantage. So point to revolvers. Capacity, that's obvious. Now, look at my very popular video. Is a 7-shot 357 Magnum a viable CCW option? Yeah, probably if you carried a backup like a 6 shots of the Taurus 856. It will handle most situations. But of course, it's everyone's right to have standard capacity, the best available to defend themselves. Because we've seen lots of videos where people just soak up bullets, even if those are all hits. Like the guy who charged with a stick to the cop. He didn't drop. He's still charging, trying to hit the cop with a big old stick until he got hit with 12 rounds of 9mm. Again, and that's a full size. It was a 17 or 19. A full size pistol, barrel length, better ballistics. than a smaller barreled pistol like this 3.2 inch Taurus G3C. Excellent pistol, good carry pistol, and lightweight, etc. So let's talk about weight. Full size, 35 ounces, 25 ounces. Yeah, that matters if you're carrying all day, even with a good belt. Yes, that does matter. This big old 17 is easier to carry. What more people end up really carrying, not what they tell their friends, something lighter like this 22-ounce G3C. And if this was a Taurus 856, I think we're at 22, 23 ounces. Look at my top 5 carry revolvers. Okay, I have one on the big size revolvers. It's very popular. And I have one that hasn't blown up for some reason on the top 5 pocket CCW carry revolvers. Okay, not this, but would be an 856 and stuff like that. So please look at those videos more. So, capacity is a thing. Should everyone be able to have a standardly awesome capacity in common use? Is 17-round magazines, 18-round magazines, is a 17 plus 1, 18 shots in certain situations, multiple bad guys that's going up more and more, may be better than 5, 6, 7 shots as well. Most revolvers were 6 shots, smaller were 5, but there are 6 shots like the 856, and there are 7 shots like this Taurus 692. Again, look at all my videos on that. Am I comfortable carrying this? If I have a backup gun, yeah. I'm comfortable carrying this if I have a backup gun. I've done it to the range many times. In general, do I prefer full-size carry and more awesomely capacity? Or me, I'm fine with a single stack 45 10 plus 1 because 45 does do more damage than 9mm. And yes, it does. I don't care what you think. I did the science breakdown on Tissue Crush. I have a 4-part series on that. So if I'm going low capacity, I like bigger bullets. Okay? I just do. And if you actually study it, you'll know why. However, multiple bad guys and most people miss. And the less trained you are, the more you're going to miss. And even cops only hit 20% of the time. Okay? So capacity does matter. So obviously capacity goes to the pistol over the revolver. And yes, not all the time, but sometimes that happens. If you look at Tom Given's 65 instructors that got into students that got in defensive gun use, Tom Givens is a pistol instructor. Many of those are solved with less rounds, but some were 8 to 12 rounds. Quite a few were in the 8 to 11 rounds needed, and those are guys that really train that have higher hit ratio than the average Joe, okay? And it still took 8 to 11 bullets to put the bad guy down, stop them from their deadly trying to kill them, okay? One took 12, quite a few in the 8 to 11 range, and some, defensive display or shooting 5, 6, 7 rounds sometimes does handle it, okay? But not always. So capacity is always going to go to the pistol, and that is a huge plus. It just is. You have to take that into consideration. So if you're talking compact size, and these are full size, if we're talking compact plus size, so Glock 19-ish size is more common, Glock 17 here, or, a full-size revolver, a 66, a 686, a GP100, a Taurus 692, as you see here, capacity is going to win out. So if you're primary carrying in your hip, or on your hip, or inside waistband, or appendix, whatever, I think that matters when we're talking pistol. I think it edges out. The pistol's going to edge out. Now, if you're talking discrete work carry, okay, if you're talking discrete work carry, or you're not someone who wants to carry heavy full size all day, does it really matter? Or you're talking backup or pocket carry? This is a little too big to pocket. I haven't had a GX4 yet. I've held it. It's great. I want to get a GX4 towards GX4 or Hellcat, P365, all these micro compacts, not compact. This is a compact on the smaller side. Look at my unboxing review. Great. I mean, it points so great. Lightweight, 22 ounces, and yet 12 plus 1. Great options here. Okay, or even 10 plus 1 in tyrannical states that are abhorrent to the Constitution, and all laws abhorrent to the Constitution, the Supreme Court already said years ago, are null and void, illegal. You might want to keep that in mind. But let's pretend this is standing in for the 6-shot 856, or the 5-shot 357 Magnum Taurus 605, or 905 9mm. Does it really matter? I think as a backup gun, the revolver might be better and will always be around as a backup gun for police, etc. Most common backup gun, 50% of police, according to HR Funk, probably carry a backup gun. Almost all the inner city cops do. That's how I was trained by Detroit cops. Always carry a backup gun. Always have a deadly force option available to either hand. Because in real gunfights, we see it all the time. Your hands get shot. Your arms get shot. And you might have to transition, or you drop it. You might need that. Or you're wrestling in a gunfight and he's going for a gun grab, and you might need the backup gun. So, revolvers do have a great benefit as a backup gun, and that's because of contact shots. Okay, empty firearm, contact shots. Whereas a pistol, depending on the angle, empty firearm, other than the laser training, that if this angle might not go out of battery, and this far does. I'm not going to pull the trigger, or YouTube might not like it, but goes out of battery. And that matters in a CQB entangled gunfight. Okay, so even if you make a contact shot here, sometimes it might be a dead trigger. It goes out of battery. It cannot fire. I will not pull the trigger, even though we have verified them, 7 times now, and I did multiple times before filming the video. This doesn't go out of battery. Okay, so guys, always be safe. I've gone through a SWAT school. I've been training with firearms 35 years. This is educational purposes video. This does not go out of battery. So as a backup gun, or even for a driver that maybe carries it because you got to worry about the carjacker, but you might carry two because you got to worry about the guy in the back seat trying to slit your throat, that's going to be entangled. Close range are going to be going for it. It's unlikely they'll be able to grab the cylinder as firmly to make it not fire. This doesn't go out of battery. So the revolver is always going to be around as a backup gun or as a coat gun. You know, if you're cop up north, whatever, in the cold, or even as a civilian, you might want a concealed hammer snub in the coat pocket. I like it as a backup option. You know, it is what it is. I have my videos on 5 CCW carry revolvers. Check it out. On the 5 pocket revolvers, please go check that out. I have face-offs with my friends, 6-shot snubbies, old snubbies. So please go check out those videos. I think I pretty much covered it on the benefits and negatives of a revolver versus a pistol. Primary carry, maybe a pistol's better. Backup or discreet work carry, you might want to think about at least having a revolver to get better at shooting. Revolvers make you a better shooter, again, because of that trigger pull. So you might want to consider that, guys, and get something like this multi-caliber or something else. So I think that covered the positives and the negatives. In a way, a revolver is both the beginners, the people that really don't train, they know if it's loaded, we talked about that, or an expert's weapon. Once you're so good, you can fire this very accurately as well. I'm Dan the Wolf, and please thumbs up, share, subscribe, look at all my playlists, everything on self-defense, martial arts, etc., and my self-defense DVD. Thank you very much.